Today we're doing 8th grade, Chapter 1, Lesson 2, Powers and Exponents. A product of a repeated factor can be expressed as a power. For example, we have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So that would be 2 to the 4th power. The big 2 right here is the base. And the base is the repeated factor. The 4 is the exponent. And the exponent tells how many times the base is used as a factor. So the base is the number that's being repeated, and the exponent tells us it happened 4 times. So let's practice writing exponents. We have -2 times -2 times -2. So that would be -2 as the base. And usually we put that in parentheses so that you know the negative goes with that 2. And it happened 3 times, so the exponent is 3. Next we have 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. 4 threes. So 3 is the base, and it happened 4 times, so the exponent is 4. And the next time we have -2, and we have 3. So the -2 happened 3 times 3, which happened 4 times. So -2 to the 3rd power times 3 to the 4th power. And let's throw in a little bit of algebra in there. And on this problem, we have 2 A's, so that would be A as the base and 2 as the exponent. And we don't have to even put a dot or a times sign. If we don't put anything, it defaults to multiplying. So I can write it just like that, and it means to multiply. B is the base, and it happened 3 times. So A to the 2nd power times B to the 3rd power. Next, let's try evaluating some of these. So we have -2/3 to the 4th power. That means -2/3 times -2/3 times -2/3 times -2/3. 4 times. And just like multiplying any fraction, we go straight across. 2 times 2 is 4. So this is 4, and this is 4. And a negative times a negative makes a positive, so both of those are positive 4s, and 4 times 4 makes 16. On the bottom, 3 times 3 is 9, and this 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 times 9 is 81. Tens are special, though. They're a little bit easier. 10 to the 1st power would be just 10, because it would be a base of 10, and that it only happened once. 10 to the 2nd power would be 10 times 10, which would be 100. Notice that the exponent is 2, and we get 2 zeros. Just like over here, the exponent was 1, and we got 1 0. So on the next one, we should get 3 zeros. And on the next one, we would get 4 zeros. So if we had 10 to the 8th power, it would be 1 and then 8 zeros. Just a side note, but an odd amount of negatives makes the answer negative. What I mean by that is if you have -5 times -5 times -5. That's an odd number of 5s. There's 3 of them. 3 is an odd. So my answer would be negative because there's an odd number of negatives. But on the one we just did, 4 is an even number, so my answer was positive. Let's look at some of the problems you're supposed to be doing on the independent practice. 1, 2, 3, and 4, you're all supposed to be writing express each expression using exponents. So we're just going to rewrite it as an exponent. We're not solving. So we have a 3, and it happened twice, times m, which only happened once. You can put an exponent of 1, but usually if it only happens once, we don't put anything. So that would be it. That's the answer for that one. On number 4, be real careful. These are p's. So p happened 3 times. And then these are q's. Q happened twice. And then we also have a number, -9, which happens twice. And usually we put the number in front. So -9 to the second power. So that means -9 to the second power times p to the third power times q to the second power. Okay, on the next section, 5, 6, 7, and 8, that is where you're actually solving them. So this first one, number 5, would be -8 times -8 times -8 times -8. And it's an even, so my answer should be positive. Let's look at number 7. That's -2 to the third power, so that would be -2 times -2 times -2. And 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. And it's an odd exponent, so my answer would be negative. Then we have to do the 5. So 5 times 5, which is 25. Then we have to remember those integer rules. Same signs, add and keep. Different signs, we'd have to subtract. So 25 minus 8 would be 17. And then we take the sign of the one that's greater. And number 8 would be the same way, but that's subtraction. Number 9, I want you to try some of your algebra skills. So we're plugging in these numbers for where the letters are. Like on number 9, r to the third power, r is supposed to be 5, so that would be 5 to the third power minus s, and s is supposed to be 4. Well, 5 to the third power would be 5 times 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5 is 125. Then minus 4, and we get 121. And you do the same thing on number 10.